Hi everyone. At this time of the year, as we approach the first Sunday following the great and holy feast of Pentecost, we come upon the last feast that is listed in the book of 50s known as the Pentecostarian. Now this particular Sunday, the first Sunday after Pentecost, is dedicated to all saints. And because this series is dedicated to hidden saints, those who most people don't know much about, or even those that they've heard their names but still don't know much about, it's important to add this to our roster because it includes everyone who has ever participated in the perfection of the Lord. Now, this particular feast is very, very ancient, probably going back to the 400s or 500s, when in particular it was known for its celebration of all of the martyrs. But that was about to change when we get to the late 9th century, because at that time there lived an emperor, and his name was Leo VI, who had the appellation the Wise. And he was married to a wonderful empress named Theophania. Now, Theophania was widely recognized as saintly even during her lifetime, and in fact, even though they were in the midst of busy and crazy Constantinople, even Leo recognized her as saintly during her lifetime, and in fact wanted to build a church to her at that time. But she rejected it, as did the church at large. But after her repose, and her funeral took place in the Church of the Holy Apostles, which was near the center of Constantinople, there were many miracles that were worked during her funeral, and people flocked to her relics, and many healings took place at that time. Well, this just spurred Leo on even more, because he was building a new church, and he wanted it to be near the Church of the Holy Apostles, and he also wanted it to be named, now that she was reposed, in honor of his wife, Saint Theophania. Well, he had a change of mind, and the church certainly did also, and rejected this idea as, well, she is just recently reposed, not 3, 4, even 6 or 7 years afterward, and the church felt it was too early to do something like this. So instead, Leo decided to take this celebration of the holy martyrs and expand it. And he brought up the idea to the church that this Sunday should be dedicated to all the saints. And his reasoning was that if indeed Theophania was a saint, that she would be included with all these. Now, the church readily acceded to this request, and so the new church was built and dedicated to all saints. And it's important that many of the fathers of the church from that time forward gladly gave their support to this idea. And in fact, there were a number of reasons they liked it. The first was probably because since it fell on the first Sunday after Pentecost, it emphasized, yet again, the divinity of the Holy Spirit and the fact that all sanctity came and comes from his working in the followers of Jesus Christ, by which they achieve perfection if they but follow the guidance of the Holy Spirit. The second was that so it could be emphasized that all of the saints, known and unknown, both from the beginning of history, starting with Adam and going all the way through the Old Testament up to the date of the late 800s, and even in future years, and in fact in all of the years that would ever exist in the dispensation of the Lord until the end of time, this Sunday was dedicated to these saints, some who have not even been born yet. And the third reason was that it showed the unity of all the saints, that St. Gregory of Sinai said they all converse with one another now, that they are with the Lord, and especially devoted to Our Lady the Theotokos and ever Virgin Mary, who is incomparably greater than all of them because of her role in the divine dispensation. So this was a Sunday that was deemed very, very important in so many ways. And for us, we can have the same assurance of this, that all the saints who have ever lived, that intercede for all of us in heaven, including the 9 ranks of the angels, and including all of the patriarchs, and including all of those that are yet to be born and yet will intercede for all of us, that they give us an example. Because most of the saints in the life of the church, it can honestly be said, are indeed hidden. And they're hidden in such a manner that they may never be known. As we look at the Menaion of the church and we see listings of some saints and martyrs that were beheaded or sawn asunder or something like this, where even though no one knows about them, their memory is listed, that they did exist, even though we don't know their names. And there's probably many, many more whose names will not be revealed. And all of this, of course, is according to the will of the Lord, who is glorified in his saints, and who will continue to be glorified in his saints until the end of time. This is why we ask their intercession, because when we are asking the intercession of a particular saint, we are fulfilling the will of the Lord, who came to us, became incarnate, took on our nature, and shows us how important in his eyes we really are to be able to participate in his divine human person. This is a tremendous feast of the church, and the one in which we invoke all of the saints from all time. And it should warm the hearts of all of us to know that we have this great cloud of witnesses that is with us constantly, if we will but open our eyes and understand how close they are to us and how much they genuinely want to help us in any way that they can. They are the perfected ones in Jesus Christ, and they're raising their arms in praise and exaltation, asking us to follow along and also partake of that wondrous perfection that comes from him. Bye-bye.